So we will start these things with A'udhu Billahi Minash Shaitanir Rajeem. Bismillahir-Rahmanir-Rahim. Salatu wassalam ala Rasulina Sayyidina Muhammadin Sayyidil Awliya wal-Akhirin. So we have some questions here. I'll start with the first question. What is your name?
My name is Kemal Muezzin.
MashaAllah. Assalamu alaikum to you.
Alaikum salam.
MashaAllah. The next question is, when did you first meet Mawlana Shaykh Nazim?
I met Shaykh Nazim Effendi Hazretleri in 1974. Fourth day of Eid of Ramadan. No. 4 days after Ramadan Eid.
MashaAllah. MashaAllah. Okay. And 1974?
Yes.
MashaAllah. Okay. At that time, what were the circumstances that took you to Mawlana? How did this meeting happen?
Well, this is an interesting point. I didn't know about him. He wasn't someone that my family personally knew.
Okay.
And because it was Eid on the Wednesday evening, I went with my parents because I was only a teenager at the time. We went to visit my aunt's house, my father's elder sister, to say Eid Mubarak. And in the conversations that evening, my father just mentioned that Shaykh Nazim came from Damascus and he led the Eid prayer in Shoreditch Town Hall for the Turkish community. And that was basically the first time the Turkish community in London had a personal Eid prayer.
MashaAllah.
That was the first time.
First time?
Yeah. There was individuals that were going to here and there, different mosques, but as a Turkish Cypriot or Turkish congregation, there had never been any congregation for Eid. And Shaykh Nazim came and he arranged an Eid prayer for the Turkish community in Shoreditch Town Hall. And he mentioned that when I heard his name, Shaykh Nazim, I don't know what happened, but I remember standing up and saying to my father, why you didn't take me to see him? And then as a dad would say, just be quiet and sit down. And I sat down. And the evening continued. That was on Wednesday night. Thursday passed. Friday, my father came home from his shop. He used to have a shop. He was a shopkeeper, groceries, and he came home and he goes to me, guess who come to the shop today? I go, I don't know. So he was insisting. So eventually we was going to end up having a teenager father argument. I don't know who your mates are, who you know. And then I said, well, just tell me who it is. He says, Shaykh Nazim come to the shop today. And we talked, and he gave you these gifts, and he gave me some small trinkets and a leaflet, and then he said to my father, if he wants to, tell him to come and visit me. The very next day, on the Saturday, I went to visit him. I knocked on the door. It was in Hackney, in the Graham Road, and Shaykh Effendi, he opened the door but hid behind the door. So I was standing in this big old Victorian house with a green door and no one there. The door open but nobody there. And then suddenly out behind the door he appeared, and when I saw him, I entered a different world. And he said to me, Mehmet, he called me Mehmet, which is a Turkish colloquial way of saying Muhammad. I said, no, I'm Kemal. Anyway, he said, come in. And then we went into the room, we sat down, and he asked about me and about me, and we had a little chat like that. And the first thing he did, he wrote the alphabet of the Quran. The very first moment that he met me, he wrote the alphabet of the Quran and taught me how to read, which I had no idea of how to read the Quran. The very first meeting, he taught me how to read the Quran. And he said to me, I want you to read about a page, and then you come here and I listen to you.
So for people of later generations, we know Mawlana, there's at least 10, 20 people around Mawlana, there's 100 people at the door. Your first meeting, how many people?
Nobody. There was no murids. There was no murids, there was no I didn't know anything about Naqshbandi, I didn't know about Rabata, I didn't know anything to do with Sufism or Tariqat. I just knew about what I knew from my parents about Islam, which was naturally the traditional style of Islam, where Tasawwuf and Sufism was embedded, wasn't segregated as it is today. And it still is embedded in Islam. It's not a separate issue. I got to learn that as the years went past. And then I used to come to Shaykh Nazim once a week on a weekend, or twice a week on a weekend, Saturdays and Sundays. And I used to go downstairs where he was he used to stay in the bedroom. His bedroom was in the basement. And I used to sit with him, and I used to read the Quran for him, and he used to listen and then correct me, and then he would give a soft bet to me. He would give a soft bet to me, and
so in your mind at this time, are you thinking, well, this is normal, or did you think, oh, this is a bit special?
No, he was special anyway. I just felt special from the moment I saw him. I entered a different realm.
And you say that purposefully, it's not just a...
No, that I felt that. That's what I'm just telling you what I felt.
No, alhamdulillah.
As a 15-year-old boy.
Allahu Akbar.
And then he used to give me soft bets about different things. And he used to make me laugh. He used to joke, and this went on, and then several years went past. Different people started coming, and the Jamaat started to increase. And on Sundays, I used to attend the Sunday zikr that Shaykh Nazim used to do for 5 people: himself, myself, and 3 ladies. The landlady and two of her friends, or Turkish ladies. So there's 5 of us. that were doing zikr in this basement.
And how did that seem to a 15-year-old, you know?
It was just, how can I say, it was magical. Putting it in a unsavory wording, but it was spiritual. But at the time, as the language that I would have used at that time would have been magical. Because Shaykh Effendi used to say things in the zikr which really was out of this world.
Are you able to give an example, if that's possible?
He used to give a talk after the zikr, and then I remember where he used to say, Grand Sheikh would be present, but not in the way that we would understand. And he would talk, and Grand Sheikh would have said this, and then he would have relayed it to us. And then things progressed from there. I wanted to say one thing, that over 50 years now that I've been with Shaykh Nazim, and I've met so many sheikhs, imams, learned people, dervishes, people who are not learned but they are spiritual, or they seem to be mental or whatever. I have never seen anyone or anybody like as unique as Shaykh Nazim. One thing I do remember he told me at that time, when there was just two of us in the basement, he said to me, my son, you must, the one who knows, the pilot who knows, who is a efficient pilot, he doesn't just fly in the high skies. He is able to come right down to earth and then fly back up again without crashing. And that's how you have to be. So that is one thing that he set up. That not to be just flying in the sky above everyone. You have to come right down to earth, and then you can fly back up again to the higher atmosphere. And that is the quality that Shaykh Nazim was asking from his murids. Not to be on your high horse, but not also to crash. So he wanted us to be between heaven and earth.
And not exclude one or the other.
Yeah. That is one thing that was one of the first things that I can remember him telling me. And so many gems like that. I mean, I may not, I'm not going to have the time to explain all that. One thing I do want to say though, in all the years that I've known Shaykh Nazim, coming to UK, and I've known him in Cyprus when I used to go and visit him in Cyprus, or even when a few times I met him when he was in Istanbul. Once I went there when he was in Istanbul, and Shaykh Effendi, wherever he went for a mission. He didn't just go aimlessly. Shaykh Nazim didn't do anything aimlessly. He came, whatever he did, wherever he spoke, wherever he went for a mission or a project. He had several projects running at the same time everywhere. I remember once he made me sit down with him on the settee, just two of us, and he was giving me ideas what projects that we have to do. And he made a whole list with us, and I was writing them down, this project and that project and this project and that project. The important thing is not to be idle, always work for the benefit of Allah's servants. So aimlessness, laziness is not from us. As Rasulullah says, the one who is the same as yesterday is not from us.
So question, so what is being active then? Because active today is flying high, magic carpet.
Yeah, no.
So what, when Mawlana,
That's the simple thing.
when Mawlana was talking about, you know, being active or having purpose, what did that mean from someone who was right next to Mawlana Shaykh Nazim? Can you give us an example of that?
He emphasized how to be polite, because it's what politeness that is our religion. And most people, apart from Satan, adhere to politeness. Everyone gravitates to politeness, unless there is a interference from Satan, which will make people jealous.
Yeah.
But Shaykh Nazim always, as I said, he emphasized, he did a mission. He was a missionary. He was the first person that I knew anything, which was not fashionable then, but he was someone who was an environmentalist. He was number one in recycling. You know, he did not throw away anything. He encouraged recycling constantly. The mosques that he arranged to be bought. He arranged. There was no mosques when Shaykh Nazim came in London, and he established 1, 2, 3, 4 mosques himself, and because of the politics of those mosques, other mosques were established. So there's so many mosques now in London that all stemmed from Shaykh Nazim's barakah. Most people don't know about that. The only mosque that we had in London at that time was the East London Mosque, which was just 4 or 5 houses together, and Shah Jahan Mosque in Woking. There may have been a couple of masjids underground somewhere, but no significant mosques as we have now. And Shaykh Nazim established 16 Green Lanes as his headquarters for his dergah. That was his first dergah, I should say, or his zawiya, where he lived, and he taught individual people that used to come to him, and all types of people came. And Shaykh Nazim would cater spiritually and physical knowledge about Islam and life to everyone, depending on who they were or what they needed or why they came for.
Could you tell at that time that everything was predetermined? You know, people didn't just accidentally walk into 16 Green Lanes. Could you see that it was predetermined, or Mawlana had a plan?
Yeah, I mean, his plan was to bring Islam to this country. That was his plan, to bring Islam to the British people. But he needed a host as well to host him, and the people that were hosting him were the Turkish people from his country, Cyprus, where he was on a family level. But he wanted them to come together to be a community. So he ended up buying the first mosque, Shakawa Lane, in particular, for that community. Then other people started coming, like people from Turkey started to come. When they came, what was important for them? To understand about their history and their heritage of Ottoman, rather than being secularist as they are. And the other people who are Muslims in this country are the South Asians, Indians and Pakistanis and Bengalis, and the important message for them was not to be tricked into Wahhabism and Salafism. So these were like the main communities that he was dealing with, and that's what he was pushing forward. So he had programs for every community, and for the Arabs and other people it was in between all this. But especially if they were rich people, he would encourage them to use their money for Allah's sake in supporting and buying mosques and providing for the community. He also, if people were in need, he would get these rich people to support the people who were in need. There may have been rich people who were in financial trouble. He would arrange other rich people to support and get him out of difficulty. Shaykh Effendi was multifaceted in serving the servants of Allah. I can't explain to you.
So just going back to this activity thing, and you mentioned the word service, because what I'm trying to get to here is a lot, because as the years went on, and more people came, getting that close access and really understanding Mawlana Shaykh Nazim, you heard it second, third hand from people who were closer. So what help us understand what Mawlana would see as being active and serving.
Being sincere to your Lord and what you do. It doesn't matter if you have to have some performance in that, but as long as you're sincere. Because if you're sincere, you're not evil. Because you haven't got an ulterior motive. The only motive you got is for Allah.
And that was Mawlana's message.
Yeah. And that's how he was.
And you saw that every day with him?
I saw that constantly.
No bad days?
Even right up to the last physical day that he was on earth, I saw that. Even though he was under the hospital and he was sleeping and he couldn't talk to anyone, I still saw that. He was in the hospital in Nicosia, and from his himmat, the hospital had turned into a Zawiya. The hospital had turned into his last Zawiya, his last dergah.
Right, even at this moment?
At that moment, where everyone was welcome to come in without any exception.
Without any exception?
Without any exception, just for as long as they wanted to be there, 24 hours. Because he gave 24 hours to his people when he was physically able.
And you said 24 hours and you mean 24, every minute of every day?
Yeah. I mean, the different phases that he went, he had 16 Green Lanes phase, then he had Peckham phase, and then we had the St. Anne's phase. And at these different phases, different scenarios were happening.
And you could see this?
Yes.
It's all unfolding?
Yes. Oh, we had Green Lanes as well, so starting from Green Lanes. No, starting from Graham Road, and then it was 16 Green Lanes, and then it was like mixed into Shakwa Lane, and then Peckham, and then St. Anne's. These were all the different phases and all the different things that he did. And the places that he used to take us, and the people we used to go and visit. Shaykh Nazim used to go and gives. He used to be invited to British people's squats.
Squat.
Yeah. I went once with him, I remember. He was invited to some young people who were squatting in a house in Highgate or... No. This was a squat I'm talking about. Yeah, this was a squat.
Fully functioning squat.
Yes, it was a house that was taken over by hippies, I should say. And they got to know about Shaykh Effendi, and he took me along with him, and we was there, and they were going to cook food for Shaykh Effendi. They were going to cook food for him, and then Shaykh Effendi said to me, "Do you know what? Let us do the cooking." So there's just in case it's not edible. He was polite. He said, no, we'll do the cooking. And Shaykh Effendi went to this squat with a load of hippies or whatever you want to call them. I don't like using the word hippie, but that's just a description. And we went with Dawood Williamson. And Shaykh Effendi said, let's cook Bukhara Pilau for them. Without the meat, of course, vegetarian one. And so, but the rice that they provided was brown wholemeal, rice that you can boil forever, and it just won't cook. So anyway, we did everything, and we boiled it, and eventually it just turned into a stodge. But everyone was happy.
And this is Mawlana Shaykh Nazim.
Yes.
Himself.
Yeah. We used to go to weekly zikrs at all British congregation zikrs in all over London, in Hampstead, in Highgate, in churches.
And Mullah's not judging anybody?
No, judging anyone, he wouldn't judge anybody. But you know why? He looked upon people as servants of Allah. Everyone has got the opportunity to come to reality. No one is discarded.
No one.
And this coming back to this, what was the word? Recycling. If he recycled things, what about human beings? He's not going to throw away human beings, the best of all creation. So I remember he told me that once. It was in his bedroom in 16 Green Lanes at the top, on top of the top floor. He said, I was upset, and I said to Shaykh Effendi, I'm just useless. I am not able to do anything. I'm just useless. And I was a young man at the time. And then Shaykh Effendi was saying to me, no, you're not. You're not useless. You can make pizza. Because I used to make pizza. He said, no, you're not. You can make pizza. You can do that. You can do this. And he was telling me this, And then he said to me, and then he gave me a story about, he says, even if there is a case of tomatoes, and there are some rotten ones, or overripe ones, what do? You take them out, and you turn them into tomato puree. You don't throw them away. So there is a use for everyone and everybody. Allah didn't create people to dispose of. He loved them and He created them. That is the core. That was the core teaching of Shaykh Nazim.
That's it?
That's it.
Everybody, every soul.
Yeah. And he tried to help everyone to come out of the grasp of Shaitan. That is the one that corrupts. Anyway, I can go on forever, but I'm not going.
There's one thing I have to ask you about.
Yeah.
I have to ask you about this. and you've mentioned it already, and that's you've mentioned the word Ottomans.
Yes.
Yes. Tell us about from Mawlana's perspective. You know, you've heard it. What does it mean to be Ottoman? And I know we could spend the next week talking about it.
I am from Ottoman heritage. I am a Turkish Cypriot, as I would be labelled today. But the Ottoman psyche and understanding is beyond Turkishness. We have to understand that.
It's beyond the border.
It's beyond Turkishness. It's become a Turkish thing after First World War. When the Republic of Turkey was formed, it became a Turkish thing, and just before, when they were attacking the Ottomans, it became a Turkish thing with the new parties that were being formed. Ottomans the policy was what I just mentioned about Shaykh Nazim.
Really?
Yeah.
So it's a continuation.
Yeah, his attitude is the Ottoman way. What I've explained to you.
And the Ottomans believed every soul.
Yes, that's why there were more Christians in the Ottoman Empire than Muslims. Because everyone had an opportunity to come to Muhammad. And that's the emphasis. And before coming to Muhammad, you cannot reach to his relationship that he would take you to Allah. And as Islam, from gradually after the First World War, Muslims somehow, Islam became second class and dropping to third class, where people became more exhumed with their invented identities of their new positions in the United Nations, and that really was their identity. So if he was from Turkey, he was proud to be Turkish. If he was from Syria, he'd be a proud Syrian Arab, or an Egyptian Arab, or a Saudi Arab, or an Iraqi Arab, or a Pakistani, or an Indian Muslim, or a Bengali. And that's not what Rasulullah was teaching us. Ethnicity is what doesn't really exist. We're all human. We're ethnically all human. Linguistically, there are certain languages which are predominant, and tribes are predominant in the Muslim history. And predominant ones in Asia is Arab, Farsi, Turk, and Indian. And then you come down to Malaysia and Indonesia. And then you've got the Africans. And all of these people are geographically separate, far away. So it was really geography that determined your culture and the language that you may have preferred to talk or got used to talking. So we are all the same. All of us are all of us. You know?
Yeah.
We are all of us. We are the same we are part of the same body, as Rasulullah tells us. And we should be happy and proud and inclusive of all of us, not separating us. And that's what Shaykh Kemal taught. He would become a Pakistani with a Pakistani, he would become an Arab with an Arab, he'd become a Turk with a Turk, he'd become an Armenian with an Armenian, he'd become a Greek with a Greek. He'd become English with an English person. Basically, Ottomans it's really the understanding and psychology and politics, how the Ottomans functioned and believed. That is the Islam that the whole of the world hated and attacked them.
Because it was so successful.
Yeah, because it was Islam. Their understanding was Islam. It wasn't based on any race. In the Ottoman times, the Europeans, if you became a Muslim, you turned Turk. Because that was the Roman understanding. Because the Romans had a Roman legacy. So whatever the Roman authority was, that's what you was. In order to be a Roman, you had to be the same as what the legacy was.
Oh.
The Ottomans were basically Rome becoming Islam. Yeah. They were the Romans that became Islam. There was no ethnicity there. But the old Romans would identify them as how you become Turk, because the origins of the dynasty were Turkmen.
Yeah.
But then again, Turkmen didn't just live in the Balkans or in Anatolia. You had Turkmen much more in Iran,
Really?
Afghanistan, Central Asia, and even in India.
Subhanallah.
The Mamluks of India. You heard of them?
No.
Oh well. Most of the Muslim dynasties of India were Turkmen or
Sultan.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And that went from Syria to Egypt, all over. But so it wasn't ethnicity. It was, all of them had the same idea, focus. It was Islam. Muslim dynasties did not rule for ethnicity. And the last one was the Ottomans, the nearest to our time, and they were European Muslims, which people don't want to emphasize that. That's why the Europe said the sick man of Europe. They didn't call them sick man of Asia, they didn't call them sick man of Africa, they called them sick man of Europe.
So going back to Mawlana then, Mawlana Shaykh Nazim, what was his, because you saw the list, you know, what was Mawlana's project, the Ottoman project, you know, so...
Well, it basically to let us understand about Islam and how we should be, personally, and in aspiration. That's what Shaykh taught.
Word for word.
And there's not many people that understand that, or know that, or want to know that. That's why he made us print.
Keep it up.
He printed that.
Have this.
He had us print that. That was one of it. And we
Can
still...
we show
Yeah, you can do.
Just hand it. Just show, just
And
describe what this is.
And Shaykh Nazim made us print this as an ID.
And can you just describe what it is so people can see?
It's just an ID. It's not an official thing, but
No.
I remember Shaykh Nazim, he held it, he had one of these, and he says, at least, he says, on the day of judgment, we can say, Ya Rab, we did not, we were not treacherous towards your Habib's Khalifa. We are still keeping our bayat with the Sultan of Islam. And that is the intention.
And that's Mawlana Shaykh Nazim.
Yeah. Physically what happens, Allah determines.
Yeah.
But we have to have the intention. As the Rasul says, everything is according to your intention. We may not have a physical Sultan and Khalifa, but we are still intending to be in bayat with.
And he never gave up.
Never
Mawlana
gave
Shaykh
up.
Nazim never
No,
gave up.
why should we give up? Our Sultan, why should we be treacherous and forget?
Yes.
Inshallah, Allah will bring it back.
Inshallah. So, conscious of time, just coming to the last couple of questions. Is there any particular unforgettable experiences that you're comfortable sharing You know, in those
There's lots and lots and lots. But one simple one I'm going to tell you. He used to send us to the markets to pick up from the floor all the leftover vegetables that were thrown away or were a bit rotten.
on the floor.
Yeah. And we used to bring them back to the and box from the wholesale Smithfield and local markets, and we used to bring it all back, and we used to sit there with Shaykh Nazim, cleaning them up, taking them home, distributing them to people that needed it.
Almost like a proper first food bank, almost.
Yes, and clothes. He used to sit there for an hour or so, rummaging through second-hand clothes and handing this to that one and handing that one, and then packaging. We used to package them. We used to send them to war-torn places in the Middle East and Kosovo, Bosnia, to Cyprus, to other places by van. And people didn't do that in those days.
And Mawlana Shaykh Nazim is doing this with his own hands.
Yes.
He hasn't got an army of people doing it.
No, just a few handful of simple people. So, a handful of simple people. He used to teach us not to be big-headed.
Not to be?
Big-headed.
Oh.
Just to be humble.
But active.
But active, and if it's necessary, to be forceful. Not to be a pushover. That's not. We're not allowed to be a pushover either. We're not supposed to be coward. That's another aspect of Islam. Not to be coward. But you have to use your brain.
Yeah.
And not be stupid.
Yeah. Oh no.
I can go on for a long time, but
well, alhamdulillah.
That is because a minute description of Shaykh Nazim.
MashaAllah. No, I just want to say thank you so much. We could sit and talk for hours.
And about.
Oh yes. And just before you go then, so I've heard this expression Bash Murid. So for the younger people of this time, what does this word mean?
Well, that word means Bash in Turkish means head, and Murid is Murid. So head Murid. Shaykh Nazim knows the exact meaning why he gave me that title. I can't sort of give a definition to it myself, because he knows the reason why he gave that definition. But how he gave it, I can tell you. We was in a zikr on a Sunday, but not the basement zikr, the later on zikr, where there was bigger crowds that were coming. And I remember I was sitting on the left-hand side of the circle, and then when the zikr finished, Shaykh Nazim opened his eyes, turned round to me, and he said, Bashmurit.
Audible to other people as well?
In front of everybody. After the zikr had finished.
Yes.
He opened his eyes and the prayers and everything, and he just turned round and he said to me, Bashmurit. And ever since then, that's how he called me.
Sure.
He didn't, very seldom he used my name. He called me that. And he knows the wisdom or the reality of why he called me that. But one thing I can tell you is, as long as he was coming to the UK, I had the keys to his bedroom, I had the keys to Shakur Lane Mosque, I had the keys to 16 Green Lanes, I had the keys to Peckham Mosque, and I had the keys to St Anne's Priory, and I had the keys to Shaykh Nazim's house here, until he stopped coming here. Once he stopped coming, then everything else is history. What's happening now, and we're just sort of plodding along. But don't say what you're going to say. I'm embarrassed.
For the as a also the Bashmurid. Alhamdulillah, when I come first year in this country, Shaykh and they going to back to the Cyprus, we went to the Dollar. And we was talking right next to me, Haji Kemal and Shaykh Effendi. And I asked Shaykh Effendi, oh my Sultan, you're going now. If I want to ask anything, what I'm gonna do? And he slapped me and he cuddled me, Alhamdulillah. And then he said to me, look, whatever you want, Bashmurid has his heart is open. I give you through him. And Alhamdulillah, I'm carry on with that.
MashaAllah.
But that wasn't just to him. The Shaykh Nazim said that to a multitude of people,
MashaAllah.
and told that to a lot of people, even in Cyprus. When you go there, you go to him.
MashaAllah.
So he knows the wisdom.
Yeah.
But one thing that I do want to say,
Yeah.
before he passed away, the last year before he passed away, where people were still just were allowed to come to visit him in his room upstairs, and I was sitting there with him, and there were some people there. I don't know who they were. And then Shaykh Nazim, I know this, I'm not bigging myself up, I'm just conveying what he had said, asking about my title. He said to these people here, I opened up London, UK, with this young boy when he was a little boy. I made Feti of London with this young boy.
MashaAllah.
I don't know who they were. There was different, like important people that I would classify as not from our lot, that our little people, and that's where and I remember him.
MashaAllah.
How can I say, introducing me to them as that person that he made Feti of UK with this young man. He used to take me with him on the bus and he paid my bus fare. Yeah. There was nobody to take him in the car. There was no special drivers and things.
No big fancy motorcade or...
No. He used to down his own clothes that he wore had holes in it, and he used to sew them up himself.
It sounds like a phenomenal experience. MashaAllah.
And Shaykh Effendi has met the most low people in society, and he was the same, and he met the most richest people in the world,
Royalty as well?
richest
Yeah.
people in the world,
Yeah.
and was the same. That's Shaykh Nazim. He is, I describe him as the light of Muhammad reaching to us personally.
And we believe. And we believe. Without doubt. MashaAllah.
Inshallah.
MashaAllah.
من الفاتحة.
اللهم صل وسلم.